Hey folks, today's video is bringing you arguably the biggest tool I've ever stumbled across for Jordan collectors. Novice collectors, amateur collectors, experienced collectors, super collectors, high-end collectors, low-end collectors. You are not going to want to miss today's episode. I'm bringing a gentleman on named Tyler who has created the ultimate Jordan card collecting guide. It is modifiable, it is customizable, it is more voluminous than you could possibly imagine, and you can make it exactly what you want to where it fits your way of collecting Michael Jordan cards. And by the way, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Iverson, or Griffey, any of those five guys, if you collect them, you don't want to miss today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoy and you can get something out of this and take your collecting to the next level. Watch this. PWCC is a great way to sell your sports cards. If you're looking for a way to support the Cajun Cardboard YouTube channel, consider using the promo code Cajun, all caps, C-A-J-U-N, when you're selling your cards on the PWCC marketplace. Hey guys, Brian with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana. It is not every day that I actually have a guest come on the channel, and so if I have a guest come on, the guest is relevant. I assure you of that. And today I've got Tyler Presnall. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Yep. Tyler is ultimate_card_guides on Instagram. You will definitely want to follow him on Instagram after you watch this video today. Tyler has created a lot of different guides for various highly collectible players, specifically four players from the 90s, traversing numerous sports. Tyler, welcome to the show. We're going to talk about your Jordan guide today. I hope that's okay, because you know how I roll.
Good to be here.
Welcome to the show, Tyler.
Thank you.
Here we go. Let's just screen share and let's just do our dummies guide to why is Tyler here? What has he got? What is he bringing to the table? And what does he have for sale? Okay, so this is how you find Tyler on Instagram. Go follow him if you haven't. I have been texting Tyler, so shame on me. Now I have followed you back. I've always just texted and emailed you back and forth, and you reached out to me via email, so that's how we've been communicating. But now I got you on IG. It is ultimate_card_guides. Tyler, this is probably in a nutshell the three guides that we're going to talk about today on this channel. Tell me a little bit about it, and I've got your Jordan guide. We're going to pull it up, but tell me a little bit in a nutshell, 50 words or less, why the people that are watching this channel who collect Jordan, Kobe, Shaq, and then I think you said Griffey, correct?
Yeah, and Iverson.
And Iverson. Okay, so for basketball, Griffey for the baseball, and I know Griffey 90s baseball stuff is popping right now.
Yeah.
Tell me why they need to pick up one of your guides, and then we'll talk about how and how much and where and what you can and can't do with it. But tell me why they need these guides if they want to truly become a Michael Jordan, Kobe, Shaq, Iverson, or Griffey super collector.
Yeah, if you collect one of these players, you're definitely going to want one of these guides. They go through, and we'll show everyone. They go through every card that these players have, and it's highly customizable, highly filterable, and sortable. You can see all the top inserts. It's got pictures of all the cards. You can track your collection. You can track prices in aggregate. It really is a companion for your collection, and it helps you expose you to new cards that you probably don't know about. You can see if you have a favorite brand or favorite year, you can see how you're stacking up with those cards.
Well, look, man, I've got your guide pulled up. You were kind enough to send me a demo version of your guide that I've kind of exported to my own personal formattable, adjustable, Excel spreadsheet. Excel is kind of the way to roll if you're going to take your guide and make it your own. Once you buy from Tyler, it's yours. You can change it however you want. I am looking at, Tyler, correct me if I'm wrong, 12,132 Michael Jordan cards are in your checklist. And 6,197, more than half of them have photos front and back of the card.
Yeah, okay. It's all Jordan cards from 1984 to 2009, so all the pre-Panini era.
Yeah, and look, I saw on your frequently asked questions, and most Jordan collectors aren't collecting post-2009. I realize some of you guys do, and I know that, I shouldn't always assume that people collect the same way that I collect, but I think the vast majority of Jordan collectors are not going to be super disappointed that you cut it off in 2009. But damn, man, just like just like with the MJ hierarchy project that I did, people are like, why didn't you include this? Why didn't you include that? And the reason is it would just be too much, man. It can't fit on one page. It can't fit in one guide. It's just at some point it is, death by volume. And so we've got to draw the line somewhere. I think 2009, 84 to 2009. Let me do some quick math. That is 25 freaking years of Michael Jordan cards. And I think 12,132. You've cast a pretty big net, Tyler. I think you're going to catch most of the big fish in that 12,132. Here's what's funny. You've got pack odds. You've got print runs. So that's like taking what I did with the MJ hierarchy to a whole nother level. For those of you interested, those numbers freaks out there, there's a lot of math nerds out there. My hands are raised. People who like to kind of find Tyler, what's the way to put this? Maybe arbitrage in the hobby where there's Michael Jordan inserts that are much more difficult pack odds than maybe their prices reflect. Yeah, totally. That's your style. I know you kind of work that way, and we've communicated a little bit in the past where you've emailed or texted me or messaged me about, certain cards like this card seems like it should be worth more. The pack odds are much more difficult than this other card, which is actually worth more than this much more scarce card. This checklist is going to point everybody in the right direction, and it's all formatable and sortable, right? Like if I wanted to sort it by most crazy pack odds, we just get to that column and sort it, right?
Absolutely. That's going to be a major benefit of this. You can filter to inserts only. You can filter out upper deck cards, which I think is about 9,000 of those 12,000 cards that, I don't tend to collect a lot of upper deck for that reason. But just those, I've got your Jordan hierarchy cards in here. So if you're a big Jordan hierarchy collection, you've got your poster, and you want to collect all the Jordan hierarchy cards starting from tier 1, you can filter to that. You can see all of the pack odds that you've got on your poster, as well as about 1,000 more, and you can really see, just like your project and your poster show, the rarity of some cards that you may not have known, and maybe some more common cards that you want to go after.
So this is crazy in here, not just to hype my own deal. And by the way, Tyler was asking before we got on here, are there still posters for sale? Yes, I have 757 left. I've sold 243. And real quick, not to hijack your deal here, but remember the first 100 buyers are eligible for a giveaway for a Jordan Superstars PSA 10, which is about a $350 to $400 card. So you'll have a 1 in 100 chance. I think I've sold exactly 89 different buyers. So we have 11 slots left to be eligible for a 1 in 100 chance to win. That MJ Superstar. I don't know if you remember that card. It's kind of urine yellow. I'm sure you remember.
Oh, absolutely. You get into Sears, yeah.
Hey, look, we're going to call each other nerds, and especially Jordan nerds. If you're nerdy enough to put together a checklist with 12,000 Jordan cards, you know damn well which card I'm talking about.
Right.
And I know it's a urine yellow card. It's about $350 to $400, so it's a nice giveaway. And I wanted it to be a nice giveaway because I can't tell people how much I appreciate them investing in the brand, investing in the channel, and supporting that Jordan hierarchy project, which seems to have good legs. But this is cool. So I've just sorted that Jordan hierarchy column, Tyler, by A to Z, and it sorts it all tier 1, page 1, row 1, tier 1, page 1, row 2. So you're going to see all the grails at the top. It's basically a formatable way to quickly scan through the entire MJ hierarchy poster that I put together, and right next to it, not coincidentally, are all of the player odds and print runs. And then if you guys kind of look over here and zoom to the left, Tyler's got a picture of every damn card, all of them. I mean, almost all of them.
There's a front picture for, I think, 99% of the cards, and a back picture for a good majority of them. So first thing, get that poster, put it on the wall, admire all the Jordan cards. Then you can get this spreadsheet and track exactly which ones you have. You can write in my collection, want list, for sale, etc.
This is a great way to synergize it. If you want to take it to totally the next level, this is a great way to synergize that. Now, getting out of the Jordan hierarchy stuff, if you only collect Skybox, you mentioned Upper Deck, and you're like, yeah, there's a shitload of Upper Deck. Yeah. And by the way, I think 90% of the Upper Deck cards are like 98 and 99. Right. They went crazy.
Like 100 card sets. And
yeah, they went pure Panini and chased the money for sure. No question about it. There's parallels upon parallels upon parallels upon parallels, to the point where they really don't mean quite as much as you wish they would. But this is the photo checklist. So this is sort of the guts. This is the bones of your project right here. And you can kind of format this and make it into whatever you wanted. I talked with a guy the other day, and I can't remember who it was. I apologize, but he only collected 96 and 97 Jordans. And so if you're that guy, you go over here to this year column, you click it, you sort it, whatever, A to Z, you click OK, boom, you're starting here. You can get all the way to 96, 97, and then you know every single card that's in 96, 97. You can cut and paste it, put it into a new Excel spreadsheet, and now you've got your own 96, 97 only spreadsheet with all of Tyler's information still sorted.
You can even filter it down to the year and just see 96 and 97 right there.
Oh, yeah, I probably could have done that. I remember, I'm real tech challenged here, okay?
So personally, I only collect playing year cards. So I would filter out, actually only Bulls cards for that matter. So really anything past 99, I would personally filter out, and maybe somebody else collects playing years and filters past 2003.
Yep.
So it's customizable to how you want. And maybe you don't like base cards and you want to take out of the base cards, or maybe you don't like the oddball cards. You can filter those out as well and just collect kind of the major manufacturers. Like
that's insane. That's insane. This is amazing and very modifiable. Tyler, I got to ask you, does it have the exquisite stuff in here?
No, would that be past 2009?
No, it's like 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Let's check. You can do a Control F find, and you can type in exquisite.
Oh God, hang on. I gotta do it my old man way, dude. And by the way, I don't know how to deal in Google Sheets. Let's see, edit.
Yeah, keyboard shortcuts of Control F will get you there.
Okay. You got to realize I learned Excel in like the early 90s or the late 90s.
I've been using it since 1998.
Yeah. All right, now what?
So there you go. It looks like, is that what you're...
Oh, it's going to be, you know what? I should have done, well, I wanted to do just under brand. So we go here, and now we do it again in search. How do I search?
Yeah, just like that. Okay.
Here we go. Upper Deck Exquisite Collection. Exquisite, 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 exquisite. You got them all. Okay. Yep. That's pretty sick, man. This is amazing. This is the nuts and bolts, the photo checklist. Tell me what the printable checklist is. I can guess. That's for dummies like me who like to see things in front of their face, right? If I wanted to print it out and have actually 12,000 Jordan cards, or same drill in here. If you wanted to kind of weed out what you don't want, this is your modifiable Excel spreadsheet that you get if you buy Tyler's guide. You can get rid of, like we talked about, get rid of all the star stuff or get rid of all the Upper Deck stuff. Create your own written checklist that you can have right in front of your face and use that, right?
Yeah, so I don't recommend it for environmentalists because it's about 100 pages. But in that photo checklist, there's some columns for my collection. So you can put on the want list or on your collection list, and then those will automatically flow through to the printable checklist. So you don't have to do it in two places. You just do it once, and then it flows through, and you can hit print. So in that collection, you can mark have or for sale.
This is awesome.
And it'll mark it on the printable checklist too. And you can just hit print if that's your thing. Take it to a card show, take it to a card shop, and you know exactly what you need. Yeah. That's big. It's also available on all devices. So because it's in Google Sheets, you can look at it on your phone. You can pull it up if you're out, if you're in a trade with somebody, if you're at a card show, and you can say, oh yeah, I do need that card. Because a lot of us have thousands of cards and it's hard to keep track of exactly which ones we have. Tell me about these eBay links, Tyler. Explain to me how those work. So I'm on this photo checklist, and let's get out of Exquisite. How do I get back out of Exquisite? It's just you can just. Here we go. I'm out. Yeah. Okay. So you just have a common card like at the very top, like 84 star or something. The eBay sold link, it's just a quick hyperlink that gets you. It's not going to get you exact prices since they change all the time. But you can click on the eBay sold link, and it'll take you to eBay page. It's not a perfect link, but it's definitely a good starting place that has exactly that card. And the best part about that is there are some columns for graded and grade. So if you can mark, oh, I have that in a PSA 8, you change it to PSA and 8, and that link automatically updates. So when you click on it again, now it's only looking at PSA 8 cards. Wow. So I go here, I change this to, let's say, PSA 9. I click it again. Yeah, you may have to click on PSA. Oh, what? In the grader column, in the column to the left. Oh, my bad. Yeah. Let's go PSA 9.
You're telling me this link's going to modify, change to PSA 9 only? None. Okay, let's go back. Let's do something. I want this to work. Let's say 8s.
Well, there just wasn't any PSA 8s in that particular card. So you can see
this is search and completed and sold listings, right?
Yeah.
So it's really easy. Obviously, you can just kind of ditch that.
Yeah, so if you want to say how much is my card worth, you can just click that, and that'll take you to the sold listings.
Got it. All right, tell me about, and we've got the My Collection deal with, you can track what you have, what you want, what, the grand total is.
Yeah, again,
what about
the updates in the My Collection? You just do it on the photo checklist once, and that table automatically updates. It's by manufacturer, by brand. So you can say, I have 8 of the 14 Skybox cards in this year, whatever.
Let's go find Upper Deck.
Yeah, there's a lot. That's how I know how many there are. So
yeah, there's a lot.
I don't have the total there.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, all the different.
Tyler. Oh, my God. Yeah, it's almost 80% of the cards. Yeah. All right. Keep that in mind. Duly noted. Go buy some Fleer. Go buy some Skybox.
Yeah, and I see people all the time, how many cards are in this set? Or somebody will, let's say there's like a 20 card set, and people just have the pictures online. If you're trying to buy, and you're like, oh, what number is that? Well, you can just use this guide to help you.
This is fascinating. Like, this is a whole next level of nerding out on Jordan collecting, which is really getting me excited right now looking at this. So I'm glad I got you on here to explain it to me. The price index. Let's do this. Let's start from the beginning and let's explain to people what is an index, right? I've got my thoughts. I mean, I think I have a pretty good grasp on what an index is as a finance major and as somebody who looks at indexes damn near every day on Card Ladder. Yeah. You've got your Jordan card collecting guide tied into Card Ladder to where it updates and it's a living, breathing index tracker basically, except over here, you make it extremely easy to select your starting point. So you go back all the way to January of 2018. So you can chart the index of Jordan cards or basketball cards and how they correlate to each other and contrast on the screen right here. So we got Jordan is the red line. We've got basketball cards is the orange line. And for the last couple of years, basketball cards look to be outperforming Jordan cards since 2018 until very recently they crossed paths. What are your thoughts on that first before we get into what indexes are and how to interpret them? What do you think about that?
You got a lot of big cards. You got a lot of ultra modern Lukas, Zions, Jaws, and things like that are really, LeBron RPAs that are really pushing that price index as new people get into the hobby. And I'm sure we've grown this hobby. I don't know how many multiples. A lot of people are focused on those ultra modern, and while Jordan is still enormous in the hobby, especially for 90s collectors like me, you got a lot of these ultra modern collectors that are, as new people come in, getting those new ones, and that's pushing the prices up.
Yeah.
So an index, in general, an index is a collection of a group, however you define it, of all their prices combined. So in this, it's a Jordan collection. So this is going to be a big group of Jordan cards that serves as kind of, you can see trends, how Jordan is performing in general.
Yeah.
Not one individual card, but just like his cards as a whole, and then same with basketball cards as a whole. So you can change in that yellow box, you can change the date, anything between January 2018 and August 2023. And you can see how are cards trending since that date.
And then, to be fair, an index is only as reliable or helpful as the constituent parts of that index. And so going back to your index here, a reminder, Tyler's index on your screen that you see here is pulling directly from the Card Ladder index itself for Michael Jordan and for basketball cards. So when Tyler says it's got a lot of Jordan cards, it does. It's got not 1,777 individual Jordan cards, rather 1,707 trackable data points. In other words, the 86 Fleer, PSA 10, 9, 8, and 7, that's 4 cards. That counts as 4 cards, so 4 data points being tracked in this index. There are 1,777 data points for Jordan being used on Card Ladder, therefore also being used in here. The thing that I like about Tyler's index comparison, Jordan versus basketball cards, is that it's really quick. This is gauging from January 2018 to today. if we wanted to just see, like Tyler and I mentioned before we jumped on, let's say we wanted to start from the month that COVID sort of changed our lives forever. That would be March of 2020, if I'm not mistaken. That, I can't believe, Tyler, it has been over 3 years. That is insane. Like, that's really scary. It feels like it's a year and a half. This is what Jordan versus basketball cards have done over the last, well, basically, what is that? 3 years, 5 months. Is that right?
Yeah.
3 years, 5 months. I think a lot of people would be shocked that Jordan cards are up 200%. I think a lot of people would be shocked, especially given the recent bloodbath over the last 18 months, that basketball cards overall, that index on Card Ladder is also up 144%. Being up 144% means you're up over 2x. That's pretty surprising given, like you mentioned earlier, how many Zion SGC 9s are out there, how many Ja Morant Chronicles, PSA 8s, 9s, and 10s are out there, and those cards are absolutely disappearing in value, but still up 144%. That kind of surprises me. What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, so you hear a lot of people say, oh, cards are down, quote, lately. Yeah. And you might say, or maybe they're up lately. And it's like, well, how do you define lately? And this, you can define it however you want. So some people may say in the last 3 months, or the last year, or the last since March 2020. Yeah. Well, when you kind of have the ability to see back almost 6 years, you see, oh, in the last 3 months, they're down 2%. In last year, they're down 10%. In the last 6 years, they're up 500%. So wherever you want to define like stable or normal, you can set that date and say, oh, we're up or down since that date. Or what would we need to get back to a year ago or 2 or 5 years ago?
Super easy to modify
uses of this index.
Super easy to adjust the start date. The index flips it for you and redoes it, recalibrates it. This is over the last year, and it's Jordans are down 17%. Basketball cards are down 44% over the last year. So that's a scary number. And that's the number that everybody's hyper focusing on, because that's the number that, matters to so many people. And then again, keep in mind, on the Jordan index, it's not all Jordans. Like, there are Jordans, I know for a fact, because I'm losing them every week on the PWCC weekly auction. There are Jordans that are up 200% over the last year. And even though Jordan cards on the index are down 17%, there are some cards that are defying logic and FU to the whatever the market trend is. It is happening. And there is very little rhyme or reason. It's not high pop versus low pop. It's not 10s versus 8s. It's not BGS versus PSA. There is a bunch of crazy shit going on right now, Tyler. I know you buy Jordan cards. I know you have a massive collection. Do you see what I see, where some results, and I know some of them may not be paid on PWCC and Golden and eBay and, My Slabs or wherever, but are you seeing like just a massive like variance in results from what you were expecting?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, looking at this, and because I'm looking at this like 5 years, I'm predicting prices to go down and down, maybe not back completely to pre-COVID levels. Everybody has their hypothesis on where it's going to settle. I thought it would settle a little bit lower, and I feel like over the last 6 months, prices have just been going a little higher for a lot of cards. Now, I don't buy those multiple thousands cards that you see on Golden and some on PWCC, but just like in the groups that I'm in or on eBay, I'm really kind of shocked sometimes that some of the prices just fluctuating so much, sometimes way up, sometimes way down. It's pretty crazy still.
Tell me if you think I'm crazy, but I think it's human nature for people to, if they've got a little bit of savvy, right? A little bit of education in the hobby and access to Card Ladder, Market Movers, your collector's guide, whatever. If they look at a card and they see, let's just, pick a card. Let's say Rave Reviews, right? Let's say that this particular Rave Review sold for $12,000 in 2021. And I know 2021 was inorganic, unsustainable. It was a perfect storm of a myriad of factors that we've discussed ad nauseum. We're not going to do it again. But is it not human nature to look at, well, it was 12,500 in 2021. It's going to get back there eventually. I don't mind paying, 9,000 right now, even though the last one sold for 7,500, because I'm still getting it 3,000 under peak prices. It's going to get back there eventually because cards always go up. Historically, they've always gone up. I think that's how people talk themselves into comps running. In a downward trending market, that's how comps run. People just talk themselves into, upward increasing prices on certain particular cards.
Yeah, it's definitely different schools of thought. There's tons of people who would never consider buying over the last comp. There's some people who consider, oh, that's just a suggestion, or momentum seekers. We've been going up, they're going to keep going up. Definitely all kinds of personalities and different ways of thinking. And so, what this helps do is add a little bit of data to that way of thinking. So, maybe the last comp was a year ago, and you can see, well, from the data, Jordan cards in general are down 17%. So I might want to think about taking that last comp down roughly in the negative 17% range and maybe use that as a starting point. Because we all know those rare cards that we try to buy that, they sell like twice a year, and you're like, well, the market changes so much. How do I even value this? The last one was April 2023. I don't even know what that compares to. This can help you do that.
Well, I think the colloquialism is that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So you can provide the index, you can provide the data, and you can tell people what cards should be doing. But people are going to rationalize in this hobby, and there's a million ways to rationalize, right? They're like, oh, it's only an extra $500, or oh, well, it hit 10,000 back then. I can get it for 7,000 now. I don't mind if I pay over comps. But I think the number one thing that Jordan collectors do, you correct me if I'm wrong, is they'll look at the pop, especially for a gem mint copy, whether it's PSA, BGS, whatever. They'll look at it, and I do this myself. I'm very guilty of this. And it'll be like pop 11. And I'm like, God, with all these Jordan collectors, there's only 11 of them in the world. I don't mind paying an extra $400 for this card just to lock it up because I might not see it again. That's usually the rationalization method that Jordan collectors kind of implement. And that's why Jordan's red line is a little flatter than the dotted yellow line for basketball cards in general, because the lower your price point, I think the less likely the consumer is to be okay paying over comps because there's more data points. Is that fair?
And there's more available.
And there's more available. Yeah,
absolutely. Jordan collectors like myself and like you, we want to we have to have a certain card. Whatever it is, we have to have it. And I think it exists more in Jordan cards. So, yeah, you might see that line be a little bit flatter than the basketball in general, because maybe if I'm just a general basketball collector, maybe I go get that Shea Gilgeous-Alexander instead of a John Morant or something. But if I'm Jordan all the way. And swing me from that. And the good thing you mentioned pop reports, the photo checklist tab actually has a link to the PSA pop report for almost all of these cards. So if you want to know what the pop is, it just goes directly there.
Straight to it. It just jumped me straight to it. Tyler, that's incredible. This is an absolutely indispensable, massively powerful tool for Jordan collectors, especially if you're I have two hands raised here. If you're anti-consolidation, which I am anti-consolidation, like I don't want 11 Jordans. I want 8,011 Jordans, right? I know you collect the same way that I collect, and there's a lot of us out there that, we're pushing back. We're pushing back against this consolidate drum that people are beating. This is for you. I mean, this is insane, Tyler. There's so many modifiable and customizable aspects to this checklist. And again, to reiterate, we're talking about Jordan only, and I have a bad habit of tending to get too Jordan centric. You've got the same exact type of collector's guide for Kobe and another one for Shaq, which I think is really going to appeal to people because Shaq's moving, and I'm kind of sad right now because I sold my entire Shaq collection recently to chase more Jordans. But that's awesome that you got it for Kobe, Shaq, Iverson, and Griffey, man. Even to transcend sports and to go into baseball with Griffey, that's incredible. Is it a lot more work to go from basketball to baseball?
No, it's the same amount of work to complete the sheets. The Jordan's been my main PC forever, so that's the one, and he has such a big following that I've made that like as robust.
Your baby.
As I can possibly make it. The other ones are about 90% there. So we see in Jordan, there's even a shadow cards tab. There's a lot of people who collect Jordan shadow cards, which if you don't know, it's not technically a Jordan card. It's a number player, but he's in the background of the photo. So I only have that for Jordan. I have way more pack odds for Jordan, and some of the capabilities are just for Jordan. But the other players, It looks the same as this. It's got the same tabs. It's got the index. It's got the My Collection that you can track. And I mostly just did guys at IPC. So IPC Jordan,
Yeah.
Kobe, Iverson, Griffey. They've been my guys since I was a kid. So those are the ones that.
I mean, those are four. I mean, here, let's do this. Let's just go very impromptu right here. Tyler, if I asked you, who the 10 most collectible basketball players all time are. Jordan clearly
all time I can tell you it's going to be hard for me because I really focus on the 90s, but I can.
No, but I know, but I mean, but as far as super collectors that are out there, like guys that PC players, like you don't see many people that PC Kareem or Wilt, like because they just don't have as many cards and there's not as many different branches, right? So when you talk about PC guys, meaning people that just like, and that's a recent thing, man. A lot of the people that collected Wilt and Russell and Pettit and Kuzi and Dr. J and those guys were set collectors first,
Right.
and or they call themselves vintage collectors. Nowadays, like, I mean, honestly, I'm not really a 90s basketball collector. I'm a Jordan collector, right? Because I'm collecting Jordan in the 80s, 90s, and then a pinch of the 2000s because of the Wizards cards, playing your Wizards. That's where I make an exception. But if you had to name the 10 most collectible players, the players that you just named, all five of those guys fit in the top 10, I think. I think Iverson probably sneaks into the top 10 as one of the 10 most collected basketball players in the world. Clearly, Jordan, Kobe are somewhere in the top 4 with LeBron and Curry, right?
Yeah.
And now you got to wonder.
What I've seen in my experience, Jordan is number one. If we want to borrow from you and do the tiers, I think Jordan stands alone in tier 1. And then tier 2, at least from the 90s, Kobe, Shaq, and Iverson definitely seem to be kind of that next level down, probably in that order.
Yeah.
And then below that, I've seen a lot of Grant Hill collectors, Tracy
Rodman,
Anthony Hardaway, a lot of those kind of guys. Like
I think Rodman's in there with Hardaway and those and Grant Hill.
Yeah. So just really popular, usually like guards. You don't see a lot of love for the big men. Sometimes Tim Duncan creeps in, even Dirk Nowitzki, I've seen him there.
Yeah.
So Tim Duncan's probably top 10, at least in the 90s. But it's usually like guards that people tend to collect.
Agreed. Well, it's because we don't identify with those people. They're like aliens.
True.
They don't. I mean, if we ran a highlight film of, Tim Duncan's 100 best plays, and then we ran a highlight film of Jordan or Kobe or Iverson's 100 best plays, people are going to fall asleep watching Tim Duncan shoot 16-foot bank shots and tip block shots, ad nauseum. And shit, Jordan's going to do 100 different things that no other human being's ever done. It's just not, there is something to be said for highlight reels. And that's why Ja and Zion and even Doncic, who's, challenged by gravity, but he does shit that nobody else does. He's the trickiest player I've seen since Larry Bird, probably, or Jason Williams, white chocolate, not the murderer, the white chocolate Jason Williams.
If you had to score those highlight reels, I think Jordan would have something like Metallica and Duncan would have Beethoven.
Yes.
So
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And if I had to guess, in 2023, there's probably more people that listen to Metallica than Beethoven. Yeah. Rest in peace for all of them. Yeah, you're right, man. It's awesome. And I love that your collection has how long have you been collecting, Tyler?
Well, since I was huge into it as a kid, I have the same story as a lot of other people. So I've gone to card shows and buying and selling since age 5.
Yeah.
And then, mid-high school, kind of found some other things to do. And then, like a lot of people, got back into it about 2019, 2020. So almost kind of starting over. Like the world, grading was a thing, certainly, when I was in high school in the early 2000s. But now it's just a whole nother level.
Yeah.
The Jordan fervor has not waned. There's still
definitely
huge collectability with Jordan.
One word answer. Will there be more Jordan collectors in 10 years or less?
More. I don't see how that could be less.
Agreed. I think it'll be way more. I think it'll be way more. And I'm watching it happen. I'm watching people that were buying, RPA, National Treasures and Flawless RPAs. I'm watching those people sell those cards and buy Jordans. I know for a fact because they're messaging me every freaking day asking questions, and I help when I can. But I'm watching it grow before my eyes. And it's only a matter of time before the people that dip their toes in and start to kind of educate themselves and I did this, and you probably did this. You may be buying a Warp Speed PSA 8 today, but 5 years from now, you may be buying a Star Rubies. You may be buying a Showcase Legacy collection. It just works that way.
Yeah, that's a great example for me personally, because I bought a Warp Speed PSA 8 about 2 years ago.
There you go.
Now I'm into the Scoring Kings PSA 8, and next year I'll be in the Thunder and Lightning PSA 8, and then just keep going from there.
How do you collect, Jordan? Do you like to broaden your collection by staying with the PSA 8s, the PSA 9s, the BGS 8.5s, et cetera? Do you go BGS, or are you PSA only?
PSA only, and that's not because I think they're better. It's just in the early 2000s when I had them, I had PSA.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of kept that. And personally, I don't know how I like Beckett's future. PSA seems to be growing and growing, and I don't know what BGS is doing to compete. But I just happen to have all PSA cards, and I do stick with the 8s and the 9s. Maybe a 7 if it's a big time card, but I like the middle. I don't want like the super small ones necessarily, but can't really afford the super big ones. So I feel like the 8s and the 9s is kind of where I'm at for all 4 of those basketball players that I have sheets for.
At least you pick the right players, and there's a shitload of those cards in the middle that you just described. Like there's thousands. So you can never reach the finish line trying to buy the Warp Speed, the Intenses, the Scoring Kings, the Stadium Club Beam Teams. You could go and go and go, and the hierarchy list is helpful.
Exactly.
This collector's guide is preposterous. Like this is fantastic. I love this. So tell people. So this is the question people are going to want to ask. They're going to be like, "Hey, shut the F up." Like just ask the question. They want to buy it. How do they buy it? How much does it cost?
So it costs $15, and I think you'll put a link in this video. You can also hit me up on Instagram, Ultimate Card Guides with underscores. Right now on Facebook, Tyler Presnall, Presnall, right there. You can send me an email. There's links below that'll get you everything you need. Just $15. There's no shipping. I just send you a link. It's in Google Sheets. Just know it's in Google Sheets because Excel doesn't have a way to render all these images the way that I do it. So just keep it in Google Sheets, but it makes it so you can look at it on any device. The link is yours. I don't even have access to your guide once I send it to you. You can customize it however you want. Pretty easy.
Awesome. $15 freaking dollars. I'm selling posters for $75, and you've got 100x information in your guys. It's $15.
My walls are bare, and I need a poster for my wall because people see.
I got you. I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna get you a poster out there. But you've been there and done that. This is an impressive, culmination of a hell of a lot of manpower and work. I know because I put in hundreds of hours to do what I did, and this is far beyond what I did, and it's I can't wait to get into it and get my hands dirty. Like I'm dead serious. Like let me ask you this question: you're PSA only. Do you mess with the PSA set registry at all?
I personally don't because I don't have that many cards, but I've seen it and I like what they do. But this you can kind of create your own registry, or you want like 1992 through 94 Skybox PSA 9s. And you can just filter all the columns and say, okay, there's 12 cards that fit that, and I've got 8 of them. Here's how I get the 4.
That's what appeals to me is that it's so freaking malleable. You can make it exactly what you want it to. You can tailor it to exactly how you collect. That's really, really cool to me. And then you save it as a new Google sheet and you're home free. You just do your thing. Give me an idea. What are some of the next cards that are on your – what's the last Jordan you bought? How about that? What's the last Jordan you bought?
Last Jordan I bought was the Scoring Kings PSA 8.
Okay.
Got it. That was number 1 on my list for a little while. Before that was Natural Born Thrillers PSA 8, which was also number 1. Love those 2 cards. The next one, I really want to get Silky Smooth. I think that's a cool card.
With the net or without?
Well, I'd love it without the net, but I don't really know what's going on with the ones without the net.
Yeah.
I don't think people are cutting it off because it seems pretty clean.
It does look clean, but everybody's like, no, you got to cut it off. But I think that you could do it with an exact. I don't know. I've never held one raw in hand, Tyler. So this is where I always plead ignorance. If I don't know something, I tell people I don't know. But you're right. I see them without the net, and it looks like it was perfectly trimmed
I
off.
wish they would have made it. I don't know why they have that net on there. I wish it's an awesome looking card without the net.
Under the net, yes. I think with the net, it's stupid looking.
Yeah, right.
I think.
I don't really like the sleeves, like the exclamation points or the and one inside.
Yeah.
I don't love those. A lot of my collection's graded now, and despite how you feel about grading, once it's graded, the sleeve kind of hides the card because a lot of the times they're really cool looking cards inside the sleeve.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I just had a raw exclamation point. I had to make a decision, and I took it out of the sleeve and sent it off to PSA. I'm sure I'll get a, PSA.
I think I would have done the same thing. I've seen it both ways, but I don't really like sleeves with a foldable.
What about here's the question that everybody wants to know the answer to. What about the coating? What about the peel, the coating on finest cards? You take it off or you leave it on?
I have taken it off before. I'm kind of the mind, again, if you're not grading, it doesn't really matter. Like whichever one you prefer. If you're grading, especially cracking a graded one, if you know that coating is causing it to get a lower grade, I would peel it. I'm ambivalent on it because I like having it like how it was distributed, but also it's pretty undeniable. It looks better without the coating. Like you don't want these words, especially in his face. So.
You like the way that it came out of packs, the way the manufacturer intended, but at the same time, it's a refractor. You got to let a refractor refract. So that's why I take it off. The best case scenario, and I'm telling you, if I had more time in the day, I'm giving away secrets. It's not really a secret, but like BGS 8.5 refractors with the coating on there, 9.5, 9.5, 9.5, and then like 8 for the surface. That's the ultimate buy. Buy it, crack it, take the freaking coating off, regrade it, and you're welcome. I mean, it's like, damn.
With the mystery finest, some of the mystery finest came with like a fully opaque
black
coating. Like nobody's going to fault you for peeling that.
Right.
So it's kind of
well, it says remove coating. It says remove peel on it. I mean, I'm just doing what I'm told. I'm just a guy from Louisiana. I'm a freaking I'm a soldier, not a general. If you tell me to take coating off, I'm gonna take it off. So, all right, Tyler, that's it, man. That's a good show. I appreciate you coming on the channel. Again, $15 is a joke. No offense, Tyler, but if you're watching this and you want to collect Jordan and you want to do it at the highest level, this project synergizes very, very well with the Michael Jordan Hierarchy Project. The Michael Jordan Hierarchy Project is a little subset, right? If there was a Venn diagram, my little hierarchy project would be right here. Tyler's deal is right here. So depending on how you want to collect, choose accordingly and don't choose at all. Get both. The posters are still available. If you have any questions about how to get those, you can PayPal me. It's $75 shipped. FedEx for the first poster. It cost me like $45 to ship. I've shipped a couple to Alaska and Hawaii, and I ate it because I just felt like doing it. But please, for God's sakes, if you want a poster, make sure you live in the 48, continental United States here. So the shipping is anywhere from $45 to $50. And so it's $75 for the first poster, ship FedEx priority. You'll get it the next day, $10 for each additional poster. Tyler's deal, $15. He'll send it to you by email, Tyler. Is that how you disseminate it?
Yeah, make sure. So there's just a button in the page and the link below, and then you just go straight to my PayPal. It's actually my wife's PayPal, Laura Presnall. And just include your email address in there, and I will just email the link off.
Friends and family.
If you forget, I'll just send it through PayPal. It's just you put your email address.
Friends and family, Tyler?
Ideally. I'll send it immediately. If I'm sleeping, I'll send it first thing when I wake up.
Yeah, Tyler's not going anywhere. He's easy to find. He wants to be found. He's ultimate_card_guides on Instagram. If you have any questions that we didn't cover today on any of these card collecting guides, just to be clear, I should ask you, is $15 per guide. Like if you want the Kobe and the Jordan, $30, you get them both.
Yeah, I'll do a deal for multiple. So
there you
go. 25, 3 for 30.
That's
just
awesome.
Reach out over Instagram or Facebook, and we'll work it out.
That's really cool, man. Well, look, Tyler, I appreciate you coming on the show. I meant to have you on earlier. I've been crazy jammed up digging through this raw collection, having a lot of fun dealing with this. Yeah, man, it's fun right now. I'm smack dab right in the middle of it. So this will be a nice detour for people who are sick of watching me open boxes, submit cards. This is going to be great, and I think this is going to be a drastically helpful resource for a lot of people out there in the Jordan world. So I appreciate you bringing this to the hobby, especially at a super fair price of $15.
Yeah, it was fun to make, and hopefully just want to share with everybody who's a Jordan collector.
Cool. You're the man. All right, Tyler, thank you for joining the channel. Guys, I appreciate you watching as always. Again, the posters are available. These Jordan Ultimate, and again, I don't get paid. Tyler ain't paying me. I just wanted Tyler to come on here because I think it's super helpful for the hobby. So if you're going to buy Jordans, you may as well do it in an educated fashion. So I have no dog in this hunt. I did get a free guide from Tyler. I will admit that. So that's his method of compensation for the free advertising. And it was quid pro quo. Tyler, thanks so much for joining the channel. Guys, thank y'all for watching. Keep collecting. Stay positive in the hobby. Peace.